Chosen one, stop scrolling. This message is about you, and the reason it stopped you before logic could interfere is because this is God's message, arriving in exact divine timing. You didn't pause out of curiosity, habit, or coincidence. Something deeper recognized truth instantly. This video is about why this moment found you, what that recognition means, and how your spiritual awakening has already begun, long before you had words for it. Stay with me, because by the end, you'll understand why alignment reached you now and what is about to shift. What you're feeling is not imagination. Truth doesn't always arrive loudly, but when it does arrive, it carries weight. God's message doesn't chase attention or demand belief. It settles into awareness and interrupts momentum without force. This video is about that calm intensity you feel, that stillness mixed with clarity, and why it's the unmistakable signature of divine timing. If something inside you feels seen, steadied, or awakened, that's because your spirit already knows. Watch to the end, because what this recognition is preparing you for will change how you understand yourself, your path, and your calling as one of the chosen ones. Many chosen ones reach a point where life looks developed on the outside, but unfinished on the inside. You have grown, you have prayed, you have endured, you have learned restraint, patience, and discipline. Yet something has continued to feel incomplete. Not broken, just unresolved. That feeling is not dissatisfaction, and it is not ingratitude. It is awareness. It is the quiet knowing that a missing piece exists, even when you cannot name it. This missing piece was never something you were meant to chase. It is not a person, not approval, not success, and not validation. Chosen ones are not built to pursue what must instead arrive. God does not hide clarity to test desire. He withholds timing to protect purpose. The missing piece only appears when alignment is stable enough to hold it without distortion. Anything revealed too early becomes misunderstood, misused, or forced. This is why your path has felt different. Divine calling and chosen one alignment does not unfold according to urgency. It unfolds according to readiness. God's message reaches you when your inner structure can support the truth it carries. What feels like delay is often precision. What feels like silence is often formation. The work that mattered most was happening where no one could see it. If you feel resonance right now, acknowledge it. Not for approval, not for performance, but as recognition. If this message feels aligned with you, comment 777 once as a sign of awareness, not belief. Alignment always comes before understanding. Chosen one, you have not been imagining the internal conflict. The war you feel is real. It is the tension between who you were and who you are becoming. Light always creates resistance before it creates clarity. That resistance did not mean you were off path. It meant your light was necessary. God does not refine what he does not intend to use. Pressure was never punishment. It was preparation. Your sensitivity was not weakness. Your depth was not excess. Your isolation was not rejection. These were the conditions required for discernment to mature without interference. Spiritual awakening rarely begins with celebration. It begins with separation, confusion, and an unexplainable pull toward truth. That pull is what brought you here. There is a reason clarity did not arrive sooner. Earlier clarity would have attached itself to old identities, old fears, and borrowed expectations. God protects his chosen by delaying revelation until perception matures. You were learning how to listen without panic, how to wait without losing faith, and how to remain steady without constant reassurance. These skills are not taught through ease, they are built through endurance. Notice how your reactions have changed over time. What once triggered urgency now invites observation. What once demanded answers now allows patience. This is not numbness. This is authority forming internally. Spiritual awakening restructures the way you interpret experience before it changes circumstances. That internal shift is evidence that the missing piece has been assembling quietly, beyond your awareness, beyond your control. Divine timing does not announce itself in advance. It reveals itself through recognition. You begin to sense that certain doors no longer call to you, certain conversations feel finished, certain desires lose urgency. This is alignment narrowing your focus, not shrinking your life. God simplifies before He clarifies. He removes noise so truth can land cleanly. Chosen one, trust what you feel without rushing to define it. The calm you sense is not emptiness. It is readiness. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where formation meets revelation. That intersection is rare, and it is intentional. This moment confirms preparation completed and purpose aligning now without force or fear. Today, return to the beginning and hear it again with certainty. This is God's message. You were called. You did not stumble into this moment. You were guided into it. The timing is intentional. The recognition is real. Your light is not optional. It is required. And the missing piece you have sensed is not lost. It is approaching because alignment has been met. Do not rush to act. Do not rush to explain. Let this awareness settle. Stillness is part of the instruction. Empowerment begins when you trust internal confirmation over external noise. If this touched your soul and confirmed what you already knew, comment 111. Because you know it now, without doubt you were called. The season of almost, why everything worked except one thing. Chosen one, return to the beginning of this truth and listen without resistance. This is a message from God. You are not imagining what you lived through, and you are not confused about what you felt. There is a reason your life entered a long season where things seemed close but never complete. You moved forward, yet peace stayed just out of reach. You learned more, yet clarity did not fully settle. You made progress, yet fulfillment felt delayed. This season was not failure, it was formation. Many chosen ones walk through what can only be described as the season of almost healed, almost aligned, almost settled, almost ready. From the outside, it looked like things were working. From the inside, something still felt unfinished. That quiet frustration was not weakness. It was awareness growing faster than circumstances could keep up. Spiritual awakening often begins this way, with insight arriving before integration and vision forming before stability. This is where doubt tries to enter, not because you lacked faith, but because waiting stretches perception. You questioned yourself. You questioned timing. You wondered why effort did not produce resolution. Yet effort alone has never been alignment. Divine calling and chosen. One alignment are not activated by striving. They are revealed through readiness. God does not respond to urgency. He responds to maturity. The missing piece could not appear earlier because you were still learning how to hold truth without forcing outcomes. Earlier clarity would have attached itself to old habits, old wounds, and borrowed expectations. God protects His chosen by delaying revelation until identity stabilizes. Nothing was withheld out of denial. Everything was delayed out of precision. God does not punish His chosen with silence. He prepares them through it. This season taught you how to move without certainty, how to trust without evidence, and how to remain grounded without constant reassurance. Those lessons were not optional. They were required. A chosen one who receives clarity too early mistakes confidence for authority and motion for direction. God waits until the internal structure can support the responsibility that clarity brings. The emotional weight of waiting is real. It wears quietly. It does not scream, but it lingers. You felt tired without being defeated. You felt restless without being lost. That tension existed because something within you knew more was coming, yet wisdom restrained you from chasing it. This restraint was not fear. It was discernment forming beneath the surface. During this time, your spiritual awakening deepened. You became more aware of what no longer fit. Old desires lost their grip. Familiar paths felt incomplete. Conversations you once tolerated became draining. This was not arrogance. It was alignment shedding what could not move forward with you. God simplifies before he fulfills. Reduction always precedes revelation. The season of almost also revealed something else. You learned that not everything that opens is meant to be entered. Some opportunities tested discernment rather than direction. Some connections tested boundaries rather than belonging. These moments refined your ability to say no without guilt and wait without panic. That patience was not passive. It was active preparation. Chosen one, the war you felt during this season was not imaginary. It was the friction between old capacity and new calling. Growth always creates tension before it creates ease. Light challenges comfort because comfort resists expansion. That resistance confirmed purpose, not failure. Darkness reacts when clarity approaches. Pressure increased because alignment was strengthening. You were being trained to recognize internal confirmation over external validation. This is one of the highest forms of spiritual maturity. When God's message eventually arrives with clarity, it must land on stable ground. You were becoming that ground. This is why answers did not rush in. This is why resolution waited. God does not rush what must last. Look back honestly. You are not who you were when this season began. Your reactions softened. Your awareness sharpened. Your tolerance for confusion decreased. These shifts did not happen suddenly, but they happened completely. The missing piece was assembling quietly while you believed nothing was happening. Silence was not absence. It was construction. Divine timing protects the chosen from themselves as much as from others. God waits until desire aligns with wisdom and vision aligns with humility. When those elements meet, clarity does not overwhelm. It settles. It feels calm, steady, and unmistakable. That calm is approaching now because readiness has been met. Return again to the truth that anchors everything. This is a message from God. You were called. The waiting was real. The war was real. The refinement was intentional. Your light is necessary, and necessary light must be stable before it is released. You were not delayed. You were prepared. Do not minimize what you endured. It shaped you into someone who can carry clarity without arrogance and purpose without urgency. That capacity is rare. That is why this season lasted as long as it did. Alignment does not rush itself into fragile containers. It waits for strength. If this touched your soul and confirmed what you already know deep inside, comment 111. Because you know it now without hesitation, you were called. The missing piece revealed what has been forming quietly. Chosen one. Return once more to the beginning and hear this without doubt or hesitation. This is a message from God. You are not imagining what you have been sensing. You were called, and the war you endured was real. Nothing about your path has been accidental. What felt like waiting was formation. and what felt like silence was God working where noise could not interfere. The missing piece you have been aware of was never absent. It has been forming quietly, precisely, and intentionally. The missing piece is not a person. It is not approval. It is not sudden success, recognition, or external reward. Those are distractions when sought too early. The missing piece is something far more powerful and far more stable. It is clarity, positioning, and internal authority aligning at the same time. It is a spiritual breakthrough that does not arrive with chaos, adrenaline, or urgency. It arrives with calm certainty. When it appears, it feels familiar, as if it has always belonged to you. God does not assemble this piece in public view. He does it internally, while the chosen one believes nothing is happening. This is why so many moments felt uneventful, repetitive, or quiet. Beneath that surface, perception was being recalibrated. You began to see situations without emotional distortion. You noticed patterns instead of reacting to moments. What once triggered you now invited reflection. That shift was not accidental. It was restructuring. Discernment sharpened during times you thought you were stagnant. You became less impressed by surface-level promises and more attentive to substance. You learned to feel when something was misaligned, even when it looked correct on the outside. This discernment is not learned through instruction. It is developed through experience, disappointment, and restraint. God allowed certain things to fall apart so your perception could mature without illusion. Your reactions softened, not because you became indifferent, but because confidence stabilized internally. You no longer needed to prove what you knew. You no longer needed to rush clarity or defend your position. This is internal authority forming. It does not announce itself, it simply becomes present. When authority is internal, external validation loses control. This is one of the clearest signs that the missing piece is locking into place. God's message often becomes visible only after it is internally anchored. Revelation without grounding creates fear or arrogance. Revelation with grounding creates leadership. This is why divine timing matters so deeply. God waits until truth can land without overwhelming you. When the missing piece arrives, it does not disrupt your nervous system. It stabilizes it. Peace becomes confirmation rather than excitement. You may have noticed that your desires changed before your circumstances did. What once felt urgent lost intensity. What once felt important became optional. This was not loss of passion. It was alignment, refining intention. God removes urgency before he reveals direction. Urgency clouds discernment. Calm clarifies it. That calm has been cultivated within you for this moment. The missing piece also includes positioning, not physical location, but internal placement. You now know where you stand without needing consensus. You understand your role without comparison. This positioning makes certain paths feel closed without frustration. You do not feel rejected by what does not open. You feel guided away from it. That guidance is internal authority at work. Spiritual breakthrough is often misunderstood as a dramatic event. In truth, it is a quiet convergence. Everything that was forming separately finally aligns. Awareness meets readiness. Desire meets discipline. Vision meets patience. When this convergence happens, doubt loses its voice. Not because questions disappear, but because clarity outweighs confusion. Divine timing becomes undeniable here. You look back and realize how precise the delays were. How certain things would have damaged you if they had arrived earlier. How specific relationships, opportunities, or answers would have anchored you to an identity you have now outgrown. This understanding does not produce resentment. It produces gratitude and trust. Chosen one, this is where internal alignment replaces external validation. You no longer need signs to confirm every step. You move when clarity settles, not when pressure demands. This is how leadership emerges quietly. You become steady enough that others feel grounded in your presence, even when you say little. That steadiness is not personality. It is spiritual authority formed through endurance. The war you fought prepared you for this level of clarity. Conflict refined your discernment. Waiting strengthened your restraint. Confusion trained your patience. None of it was wasted. Light that has not been tested cannot guide others. Your light was tested so it could carry weight without burning out. Notice how your confidence now feels different. It is not loud, it is not defensive, it does not require performance. It exists whether it is acknowledged or not. That is the missing piece, expressing itself. When confidence stabilizes internally, fear loses leverage. You still feel emotion, but it no longer controls direction. This is why God works quietly. If you had known what was forming, you might have interfered with it. You might have rushed it, questioned it, or tried to use it prematurely. God protected the process by keeping it subtle. Silence was mercy. Waiting was protection. Return again to the core truth. This is a message from God. You were called. You did not endure the war because you were weak. You endured it because your light is necessary. Necessary light must be refined, positioned, and stabilized before it is revealed. That process is completing now. Do not rush forward. Let recognition settle fully. Stillness is not delay. It is confirmation. You are stepping into a phase where clarity leads and effort follows naturally. You will not need to force doors. You will recognize the ones that belong to you. If this touched your soul and confirmed what you already know without needing proof, comment 111. Because you know it now with certainty and calm, you were called. What changes when the missing piece appears? Chosen one, return again to the foundation of this truth and let it settle deeply. This is a message from God. You are not imagining what has been shifting inside you. You were called. The war you endured was real, and your light is necessary. What changes now is not loud, sudden, or dramatic. It is subtle, steady, and permanent. When the missing piece locks into place, life does not explode outward. It stabilizes inward. The first change is quiet clarity. Decisions that once felt heavy no longer demand overthinking. You do not need to analyze every option or seek endless confirmation. You feel when something is aligned and when it is not. Confusion loses its authority because clarity now lives internally. This does not mean questions disappear. It means questions no longer control you. You can hold uncertainty without losing direction. Peace becomes your reference point. Not excitement, not urgency, not pressure. Peace. This peace is not passive or complacent. It is alert, grounded, and aware. It allows you to pause without fear of missing something. When peace leads, action becomes intentional rather than reactive. This is one of the clearest signs that alignment after awakening has matured. Relationships also change, not through confrontation, but through resonance. Some stabilize because they were always meant to continue. Others fade without drama because they no longer match your frequency. You do not need to explain yourself. You do not need to defend your distance. Separation happens naturally when alignment becomes clear. This is not loss. It is refinement. You may notice that you speak less, but mean more. You react less, but perceive more. You no longer feel the need to prove your insight or announce your growth. This breakthrough does not make you louder or superior. It makes you selective. You understand that not everyone needs access to your energy, your thoughts, or your process. Boundaries form effortlessly when internal leadership is established. This is where divine calling and chosen one responsibility becomes real. Responsibility is not pressure, it is awareness. You become conscious of how your presence affects environments, conversations, and outcomes. You learn to move with intention rather than impulse. This does not make life rigid, it makes it clear. Clarity simplifies choices. Another change is how you experience time. You no longer feel chased by it. Urgency dissolves because trust replaces anxiety. You understand that what belongs to you will arrive without force. You no longer need to run ahead of alignment or stay stuck in preparation. You move when recognition settles, not when fear pushes. Spiritual maturity reveals itself through restraint. You could act, but you choose to wait. You could speak, but you choose silence. This is not hesitation. It is authority. Authority does not rush to be seen. It waits until presence speaks louder than words. This is clarity as leadership. Others may feel guided by you without knowing why. Your emotional world also stabilizes. You still feel deeply, but emotions no longer hijack direction. You can experience disappointment without collapse and hope without attachment. This balance was forged during the war you survived. That war taught you how to remain steady under pressure. Now steadiness becomes your default state. You may notice that certain opportunities no longer excite you, even if they once did. This is not loss of ambition. It is alignment refining purpose. You are no longer impressed by what looks good but feels empty. You value substance over appearance, depth over speed, truth over validation. This discernment protects your energy. Nothing needs to be forced next. This is important. Recognition leads. Action follows naturally. When the missing piece appears, it does not demand immediate movement. It invites grounded presence. You become aware of when to step forward and when to remain still. Both are equally powerful when chosen consciously. God does not rush his chosen once alignment is achieved. He allows clarity to integrate fully. Integration creates stability. Stability sustains purpose. This is why peace is confirmation. If something requires panic to pursue, it is not aligned. What is aligned feels steady, even when it challenges you. Return again to the truth that frames everything. This is a message from God. You were called. The confusion, the waiting, the resistance, the war all served a purpose. They prepared you to hold clarity without losing yourself. Your light is necessary, and necessary light must be grounded before it can guide. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not missing anything. What is unfolding now is not a sudden change in circumstance, but a permanent change in orientation. You move from being pushed by life to being led internally. That shift changes everything without needing announcement. Trust what feels calm. Trust what feels clear. Trust what does not require explanation. This phase does not need applause. It needs presence. You have entered a season where less effort produces more alignment, because effort is no longer fighting resistance. It is cooperating with truth. If this touched your soul and confirmed what you already know without needing proof, comment 111. Because you know it now with grounded certainty, you were called. Final confirmation. This was the sign you asked for. Chosen one, return one last time to the beginning and hear this with full clarity and calm certainty. This is a message from God. You are not imagining the resonance you feel right now. You were called. The war you endured was real, and it was not meant to break you. It was meant to prepare you. Your light is not accidental, optional, or excessive. It is necessary. And this moment confirms that truth. You did not arrive here by chance. The appearance of this message itself reflects divine timing. You did not force it. You did not chase it. It found you because readiness was met, that quiet recognition in your body, that still knowing beneath thought is confirmation. God's message often arrives like this, without drama, without fear, without pressure. It simply lands, and when it does, it feels familiar rather than surprising. The missing piece you have sensed is not something far away in the future. It is not postponed indefinitely. It is approaching now because the internal work has been completed. You are no longer asking from confusion. You are recognizing from alignment. That shift changes everything. When readiness meets timing, movement no longer feels forced. It feels inevitable. There is nothing for you to prove in this moment. No action is being demanded. No urgency is required. This is not a call to chase or convince. It is a call to stillness. Stillness is not inactivity. It is awareness without panic. It is presence without performance. In stillness, truth settles fully instead of being rushed past. If you feel calm rather than excited, grounded rather than overwhelmed, that is intentional. Spiritual breakthrough does not always announce itself with intensity. Often, it arrives as relief. Relief that you no longer need to question your experience. Relief that the path ahead no longer feels scattered. Relief that you can trust what you know internally. Look back and notice how much has already changed. You respond differently. You choose differently. You wait differently. These shifts did not require permission from the outside world. They emerged naturally as alignment matured. This is how divine timing confirms itself. Not through noise, but through consistency. You are entering a phase where recognition leads and action follows naturally. You will not need to push doors open. You will recognize which ones belong to you. What aligns will feel steady. What does not will fall away without conflict. This is not loss. This is clarity protecting your energy. Chosen one. Remember this clearly. God does not reveal purpose to confuse his chosen. He reveals it when it can be carried with humility, wisdom, and restraint. You have developed all three. That is why this message found you now and not before. Timing is never random when God is involved. Allow yourself to receive this confirmation without questioning it away. Doubt had its season. Discernment has taken its place. You no longer need to analyze every feeling or seek endless reassurance. Trust what feels grounded. Trust what brings peace without explanation. That peace is not avoidance. It is authority. If you feel aligned with this message and recognize this moment as confirmation rather than coincidence, comment 777 now, not for validation, but as acknowledgement that you are aware and ready. Recognition is the language of alignment. Return once more to the core truth that carries you forward. This is a message from God. You were called. The war refined you. The waiting strengthened you. Your light is necessary because it was forged, not assumed. Nothing about your path was wasted. Stay present. Stay grounded. Let what is forming continue to settle without force. You do not need to announce what you are becoming. It will be evident through how you move, how you choose, and how you remain steady. If this touched your soul and confirmed what you already know without needing proof, comment 111. Because you know it now with calm certainty and quiet strength, you were called.